Hi everybody, this is Fred Bravo with Alpha Bravo Tech. Today we have another PS4 port replacement. Just came in. Let's look at the port under the microscope. As you see, it's definitely got some pins that are screwed up. Okay. And what's a good port supposed to look like? Let's just grab one off the pegboard here. And we'll just take a quick look at it. Okay. So what's it supposed to look like on the inside? Like that. See that? See the difference? Nice and flat compared to nice and whack. Okay, so let's get to it. Alright, we're getting the Hatco FR301 ready. We'll suck the solder out of those points there, and and then we will add some low melt solder just to hold on. Anyways, yeah, we'll add some low melt solder just to make it easier to drop. No, not yet. Even then, let's just add some low melt solder now. Who cares? And then we can just, yeah, we'll add the low melt stuff, and then we'll suck it out, and we'll add a little bit more low melt stuff. Okay, let's see here. I need some flux. I guess we can do this under the microscope. You guys can see exactly what's going on here. Let's zoom it out. Alright. I'll tell you what, we won't add low melt here. We will add regular leaded solder. Trying to get that hot enough to really take that. Okay. Now let's suck it out. Well, let's see. Do it on this. And that's good for now. Turn that Hatco off. Let's add some low melt solder to those points. Now, this is overkill. You know, you can just heat up the dang thing and drop it. You know, it would be probably easier, probably definitely faster. Okay, let's see. Put low melt solder on the tip. Okay. Oops. Just a big old glob. I'm mixing that with what's going on the other side of the board. Because what's going on the other side is there's still a little bit of solder left on the other side, and there's still a little bit in these holes too. Well, there was, you know. Of course, there's more now. Okay. So that's that. And let's add some to the pins. And if you can see, of course, those are pushed in. Out, I mean. We'll push them back in. Okay. And we'll add the low melt solder. I mean, we'll add the flux. Then we'll add the low melt solder. Just picking up some on this on this iron here. And I'm just bridging everything so everything mixes together nice and evenly. Let's see if I can, yeah, there we go. Okay. And we're just doing this so it can drop easier. See, if you look there, this is what I was talking about. You see there's still solder there? There's still solder there holding it in, so that's why we did that on the other side. Okay, so let's go ahead and get back into view. And because I have the low melt solder on there, I'm going with 340 degrees Celsius with a 60 liter per minute airflow. And I'm going to leave the nozzle on. If I was to do this with, let's say, without doing any of those steps, I might go 500 degrees Celsius with a 60 liter per minute airflow, and I would take the nozzle off, and then I would apply that heat there, or I would get a bigger nozzle. Either way, but this will work for this, and we'll just let that heat up. But we definitely want it to melt the solder on the other side where the pads are at. Okay, and these are turning liquidous already. And if I want to give it a little extra help, and I use my iron, give it a little extra help. And it's loosening up. At least I thought it was. These boards can take a lot of heat, so if you need to go up on the heat, you know, go up on the heat. This is already taking longer than I thought it was going to. Okay, there that went on that side. And there it went. Okay, so it fell off. Remember, don't force it off. You do not want to rip the pads on the other side. Okay, let's see what we got here. Not hot enough yet. Let's see, this has a little hole in it. I just kind of wanted you guys to see that. Let's see if I can pull this out there. See there? It's got that hole. Suck the solder out. Hacko Ps4 301. Okay, let's see where we're at. Okay. Okay, so that's definitely needs a little bit of solder on there. It's not catching what's there. And I'm just going to use regular leaded solder. Oh, let's see. Let me look through the microscope. I'm trying to make this happen before the iron heated up. A little more. And a little more. Okay. Now let's get this going on. I could have just wicked that out just as easily. You know, I don't know. I just wanted to use this gun. Well, I'm going to have to wick that one out. That one too. That was good. Yeah, the other ones I didn't. I didn't do them right. But that gun is still fairly new to me. Let's go ahead and get a little bit of wick and just get that taken care of. Okay, so and it actually looks like it's pretty much on the other side, so let's just go to the other side. And we can also take care of those pads while we're at it. Okay, so okay. Last time I used hot air, this time I will use the iron. Last video. Okay, so let's clean this tip a little bit too. And okay. Dang it. Well, maybe I'll use hot air. Maybe it'll help. Maybe it'll be better. Okay, see how that cleared up? I think that one cleared up too. It's close enough, huh? Iron is still set at 340 degrees Celsius. Okay. Okay. Good. Okay. Let's get some isopropyl and clean it off. Alright, so what did I do with that new port? That's the old one. Okay, here's the new one. Alright, so let's look at those pads. Nice and flat. Port sits in there really nicely. Okay, that looks good. And we'll change tips. Okay, we'll put a little flux. Or a lot. That was kind of a lot, but okay. Let's do this. Let's put a little bit of solder on the iron. Okay. I'm gonna hold this port kind of flat. I guess I don't have to, I never do. So let's just go in. Solder those pins. It's almost like doing just a little double tap on them. I'm usually a lot further zoomed in, but I kind of want y'all to see everything that's going on. Okay, and everything might be taken care of there. Jeez. Okay. All right. So let's zoom in now and get a better look, and we're gonna have to pull some of that solder out of there. Yeah, a lot of that's bridged. So I'm going to switch to my tip that pulls the solder out pretty nicely, which is the one I was using a while ago. Jeez, still a little hot. Gotta be careful. Okay, so this tip has the hole in the front. It's got a little curve, if you can see that. Maybe not, because the light's not great. Let me zoom out, because I think the light gets better when I zoom out. So, see that? Not too great, I'm seeing. Okay, but it's gonna pull this solder out. I'm gonna need more flux, I already know. So I'll put some more flux. That will help me pull that solder out of there. Then just go and grab it wherever it's sitting. That was it. That looks like everywhere where it was. I'll just go over these pins again. And I bridged one. Let me wipe that off. Well, I mean, when I say bridged one, I mean I bridged two, obviously. Okay, so that's better there. Looks like they're all connected. Let's clean it off and take a good look. They all look pretty good. Let's blow that off with some not super hot air. 100 degrees Celsius at a 120 liter per minute airflow is what I set it on to kind of dry stuff up. And the reason I use that temperature is because that is the lowest temperature and the highest airflow that I can use. So that's that. I'm gonna actually dry it off a little more with a dry Q-tip, which I just dropped. Jeez, but no, that's all right. And there's still a small layer of flux on the board, which is fine. Okay, so yeah, that looks good. You can see where I touched the plastic a little bit. See right here. Let's see if we got good lighting there. Yeah, pretty decent. So yeah, I touched the plastic there. Obviously, it harms nothing. If you look, all of those solder joints look fantastic. Let me do the little wiggle test. Let's see here. Okay, so stick something in there, move around, and move. This lets you know if any pins are loose. If any pins are loose, then you need to resolder those pins. Oops. Okay, so obviously no pins are loose. The other thing you want to check is, well, because I bridged all those, I know all that solder's out. I didn't bridge them deep. But if you bridge a whole lot and it gets under that plastic a little bit, you're going to want to do continuity test. So just from pin to pin. And going from pin to pin, you should get absolutely no continuity anywhere. So we go from that pin to the next one. Nothing. Good. This pin to the next one. Nothing. Good. This pin to the next one. And actually what I actually do when I need to do this test, I stick it between the next two pins and then I check the next one. Because also you will not get continuity like this either. So I'm touching two pins and touching the next one. Touching two pins, touching the next one. Okay, let's get that lined up a little bit better. So, and then we'll do this all the way down. Jeez. So you got to make sure your meter has these fine probes. And that's good. Okay, so they're all good. Everything's there. Next thing we want to do obviously is anchor these in, which honestly I should have anchored these in before I did that test just to make sure everything was good and safe. But hey, as long as you're careful, you know, you're not going to rip something off. Okay, so let's use a different tip this time, and I'm going to use a new tip I got in the other day, which looks like it's been dropped or something. It's got a little bend in it at the tip. Let's take a look at it. Well, it looked like it did. I thought it did. Okay, this thing's still beeping. Okay, so okay, so there it goes. I guess it wasn't snapped in all the way. Let that heat up for a second, and while we're letting it heat up, we will put some flux, all day long. Flux while I sing this song. Who knows what I'm talking about there? Find out. Okay, so we'll come in on the side here, heat up the leg and heat the pad, and jeez, I have it set on maximum heat, but that port just sucks up so much heat. And probably use a little more flux too. I'm not sure that I like this new tip. I should use this and some hot air at the same time. Because, yeah, this tip, I'm not sure about it. At least not yet. Jeez, that solder's just stuck. Okay. So, let's add a little more flux. Let's make it look pretty. We'll add a little more flux, and we're going to use the hot air with the iron. That way these come out looking pretty. I don't think we're getting enough heat transfer. Okay. We don't want to drop the port, but we're not going to go too crazy like with leaving the heat on there too long. But I do have it set again on 340 degrees Celsius with a 60 liter per minute airflow. Okay. And we'll do this side. them look pretty. That one still has a small okay, that's better. Had a small little point on it. What's it called? A peak. But it still does a little bit. But hey, it's good enough. So that's good. Time for a little bit of isopropyl cleaning. Let's see. So, pretty good. Let's see. Let's focus that a little bit better, huh? There we go. So yeah, pretty good. And let's go back and look at the port again. And it does have that little area where I did touch the back of the plastic. It's not going to hurt anything. Let's zoom back in. Just take a better look again. And that's it. Let's see if we can focus that better. I wish you could see this, what I could see. The resolution, I mean, through the scope. Doesn't look like what it looks like, you know, on the monitor. So, anyways, all right. So that is another PS4 HDMI port replacement. I did this video to replace the other one, so I will probably take it off my page. But if it's still there, this one's obviously the more updated one. And anyways, so again, thanks for watching. If you liked the video, please subscribe and give me a thumbs up. And hope you learned something. And thank you. Take care.